All right, so today I am going to give you a little tour of the acreage. So I'm just going to kind of walk through and share what some of the buildings are and what we hope to use them for, and just give you a little tour of the farm. So one thing that's kind of fun is when we walk onto the yard, we have this awesome driveway with the trees on each side. I always think that's kind of cute. We have that tree down, and we had a bunch of trees over here. Huge, I think they said 100-mile-per-hour winds. So I don't know if you can look way in the back. There's the tops of all of our really big pine trees. So like over there, oh, my phone didn't like that. But anyway, in the back, all of those cracked off. So we had to haul a bunch of trees away. And that grass over there is ours. Long grass. The beans past it, that darker green, that is not our land. That's another farmer's. And then we also had another tree here that we took down, and another tree over there that we took down. But in our last house, I had a really awesome garden. So we took our asparagus with us and some raspberries and our rhubarb plant and kind of transplanted them. I'm hopeful that they'll make it. The raspberries are looking a little tough, but we'll see. And then when we were here too, there is a fence that was along the area, and then it came back on that side of the house. And we saved the fence, and we had plans of using it for either the garden or our chicken coop someday. But for us, our dream is that this front door, this front window here, will maybe become our front door. And then we'll do a front deck, and then over in this area would be where people park, just to kind of give us a little bit more of a front entrance feel. And then yeah, it's been crazy hot, like 90 with lots of humidity. So we made our own little slip and slide pool a couple nights ago, Saturday night. So yeah, some more wood. We're gonna save, we chopped all of the trees down and saved the wood. We're gonna hopefully do lots of bonfires this fall. Behind me here is what we would call, my father-in-law used it as a lambing barn. It used to be a chicken coop. At one point there was a hogs, farrowing house in there, I believe. This is a deck that we have plans on using on the house that we got for $100. So we snatched that up, a good deal, and little labor, little TLC, but we should be able to get that up and running. Over here is our dog kennel. We ended up moving that on from our last house, so that's something from our other home. But our dogs at night sleep in here or when we're gone, but otherwise they kind of just hang out with us. There's also another shed here currently where we keep our hay bales, our square bales. Used to have a lot of ewes in here. We might be keeping 5 sheep and having a few. And then just past this, where that red gate is, we do have a cow, or actually it'd be a heifer. So that heifer is a female that have not had babies yet. But we also got a bull named Home Run, and we are hoping to breed her so next spring she can have a calf and we can try milking and making butter and cheeses. We'll see how I do. My brother's son bought her and bottle fed her and took her to the fair, and he was gonna sell her, and I was like, well, it's a Jersey, I might be interested. And so we ended up buying her from my nephew for $600. So right now that's a really good deal. The last I heard, there were some people who sold some calves in the thousands. So we got a pretty good deal considering we did it last year, and it takes a couple years for a cow or a calf to mature. And then our goal is to get her bred and milk her, and then that we can raise that other calf, which would take about 2 years potentially, that we could butcher. So that's our plans with that. But back to the tour. So that's where we keep the square hay bales. And then over here, we actually moved this garage on. In the last couple weeks, we got this garage for a few $100. Somebody's gonna push it over, so it needs a little work and some paint, but hopefully you'll get to see the progress of that soon as well. And then back here is the back side of that hay shed. We actually had to do some work to this already. There was a bunch of, I don't know, scrap iron and bricks and cement chunks and weeds and tin. So we actually just this past weekend cleaned that up, and there's huge holes. I haven't seen new holes form So I'm thinking they maybe were old, but we put rock over the holes. And we haven't looked in the shed yet to see if there's another hole. There's Buttercup, and hey girly, she's gonna hopefully be a mama next spring. And those horns are getting pretty pointy, so hopefully we'll get those removed too. And then we should have done it when we had her as a calf, but missed the gun on that one. And then this is Home Run, so he's our bull, and we are really hoping he can get the job done, but he's a first timer, so we'll see. Hey, pretty lady. You gonna lick? Yeah, trying to lick everything, aren't you? Something I did not know is that everybody says when I say we have a Jersey and she licks everything, they're like, well, yeah, that's pretty typical. And I guess dairy cows too, like they lick everything. So something I learned in this process. Growing up, I did some bottle bucket calves for the fair, and I think my dad always had a handful, and then we'd butcher. So I've been around cattle. I helped a guy kind of work on them for the fair, but personally, this is my first time as an adult with no help raising some cattle. So yeah, we have a heifer. Hopefully she's bred already, but we won't find that out probably until end of September. And then over here, there is some buildings. Currently Buttercup and Home Run can go in those as well. Like you can see some holes and stuff, and we have some plans to kind of clean those up and paint them and maybe get some steel on that as well. Then yeah, just some more of our backyard. We have some hay bales. Actually, excuse me, those are not hay bales. That's corn stalk bales. Most of the time that's used for bedding, sometimes for feed for animals. And then this used to be a barn that they use for pigs. Currently it is empty. Last summer I came over and I power washed the entire barn out from top to bottom. I can maybe figure out how to share a photo of how dirty I looked when I did that. It was something, but I spent many hours power washing. Here's the boxes from our last house where I had my garden. So the plan is to be putting those way back over there where that asparagus is, and do a garden. I'm hoping this fall we can get it set so it's ready to go in the spring, but we'll see. Time will tell, right? And then my dad actually just dropped off this. So it's a lawnmower for my kids, and then we're gonna either buy or make a wagon, and they can pick up sticks and haul bales and corn to the animals. Here, this trailer, I don't know if it'll show or not. Yeah, all kinds of lumber that we've saved over the years that was in our other barn. We have learned how expensive wood is, so we save it all, and then we use it for our next projects, which is a huge money saver. So this is kind of my I don't know, building of shame. It's all random stuff that we have saved over the years. It's on our wish list or to-do list to go through, organize it. We're hoping to kind of turn this into our shop. So this would be like where we keep our tools, woodworking stuff for cutting lumber. So as we work on our home projects, this will kind of be our home base for that. Around the corner, this is another yard. Hopefully we can get the manure out and get that spread on the field behind us. So behind here, there's a big field. I think they said it's about 100 acres that is owned yet by Sean's family. So all of that is beans. And I feel like some of them somewhere, I think there's corn behind this. So the dark green is beans, and then behind that is corn, and that's the 100 acres. That's part of the family. And then we have started some piles. So we got random cement chunks that we have put here. And then this is all steel and metal and miscellaneous things that we find on the farm. And you can actually sell that and get a little money back. So someday, hopefully next year, we'll do that. Oh, and I have a question. So I have seen a ton of these huge spiders. So like if you put my hand here, like it's as big as my finger. They're all over this backyard here. I think I looked them up, and they're just like a garden spider, so not poisonous to people, but really painful bites. Oh yeah, and then on this side we have some more of those bales. My father-in-law's old farm pickup. The semi-trailer is mine for my business. I do wedding rentals, decor, wedding planning, and fresh and silk flowers. So I have some storage that overflowed from my business that I cannot fit in my store. And then there's a machine shed currently used for the sheep. We're hoping to clean that out though and start using it to store our camper and one of my trailers and maybe a few other things. So this is what we call the cat house. It used to be the original pump house many years ago, but now we have rural water, so we don't have that. It's not operating. But my daughter, Nora, the middle one, absolutely loves cats. So she has made this a little cat oasis. And there's one of the cats they call Mama. I don't remember this kitty's name, but we have lots and lots of cats on this farm. And this is our chicken coop that we actually moved from our little acreage. Our chickens, we are getting about 5 eggs a day right now. So that's just about right for our family. And we kind of let them roam, they hang out. But then there is sheep here. There not very many in this corner, so we'll have to go around. There's a couple more. This, I stand back a little bit. Here is the corn crib and a tractor in it. And we were working on projects the other day and we got a nail in the tire. So we had to take that off and patch the tube, and we got that done, but ran out of daylight time, etc. And so we will be putting that back on. But what we did is we lifted up the tractor with the bucket and then took off the, I think they're called lug nuts, right? And then put the block underneath it so that way it doesn't sit on the dirt and it's just not as hard as everything. And then when we need to put this tire back on, we will just use the bucket again to kind of lift it up and get it set in place and then put those back on. So then over here, if you can see all of the sheep. So I think there's over 100 of them in there. These were all born this year. So they're called lambs technically. So there is ewes and rams, so girls and boys. And something that I just found out from my father-in-law, that the rams have a tag in their right ear, so our rams, and the ewes have one in their left ear. So when you're sorting them or doing whatever, it makes it really easy and you don't have to look at their anatomy to figure anything out. And then if we go back over here, this is our 2-stall garage, single stall garage. So we have a few vehicles. So this is my we just bought this pickup this last year. We bought it wrecked and my car wrecked, and then fixed it up, and we will use that for the farm and pulling the camper. And then yeah, we have our single stall garage. And we got this trailer in here with the hope of we're going to be working on our upstairs, and so we're going to dump stuff out of that top window into there so we can haul it away. And something I've added since we've been here is peonies. So I planted those earlier this early summer. My in-laws lived here, so I was able to do that while they were still here. And then we had to put the fence around it because otherwise if the lambs get out, they'll just mow everything down. So I just, a couple weeks, no, I think just like this past week, actually, I finally weeded it down because it was so bad because I had let it go. So got back on top of that, and now it should be easier to maintain. So yeah, that's kind of our property. We do have a nice grove over here as well that is ours. And then yeah, we have this fair amount of space back here, a few acres of kind of weeds and grass and lots of trees that fell down with the big storm. So there's the kids' fort. One of the benefits of being on the farm is they can do stuff like this and we don't have to worry about cleaning it up to make things look pretty for the neighbor. But one thing I just want you to look at, like, look at this old tree and like look at all of these amazing branches. Like, I just look up at that and I think there's no way there can't be a God. Like, it's just beautiful. But that's the tour of the farm. Hopefully as I take more videos this year, you'll be able to see us making improvements and just kind of chipping away at the projects. And hopefully you can learn some things as you go. But the biggest thing is, as I look at this and I'm outside in nature and seeing the trees and the animals, and it just makes me excited for what's to come. I know how much work it's going to be, but it is really rewarding to watch my kids thrive and just really take on farm life. We've really been blessed by that, and we hope that as they continue to grow, that they can take ownership of this place as well, and maybe we'll be lucky enough we'll have a fifth generation family member who wants to stay and live here too.